Good evening, everybody, and good afternoon to our today's speaker, Sanja madam. I welcome you, ma'am, and all the participants, those who are joined here. This is Veer Maheshwar Charitable Trust Latur MS India, organizing daily international webinar series. In this series, we are inviting the renowned speakers from India and abroad. These speakers contributing their knowledge as a topic, and we are enjoying every day, learning every day from speakers. In this series, today I welcome Sanja Stanhope, ma'am, who is faculty of philosophy, University of Novi, Serbia. She speaks on the topic responding to relation needs in business environment. Basically, she is a freelancer physiotherapist and provides the physiotherapy sessions as a personal development workshop for individuals and couples and mental health well-being programs for the companies. She is a strong background as a HR professional, physiotherapist in supervision and trainer. She is passionate about helping individuals recognize the uniqueness, become aware of others' strengths and potentials, and develop the emotional and relation literacy as well as stability. Her goal is to guide to all in building lives and businesses that are aligned with their values and integrity. We welcome you, ma'am, and we request you to start your speech. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. BETKAR, for having me again. I appreciate very much the format that you are nurturing for this last couple of years, and I respect the purpose of sharing knowledge and exchanging our skills and experience internationally. I would appreciate your support in maybe sharing my presentation, because I love seeing people and giving them opportunity if they want to interrupt me, to ask something, even though I envision today to speak, to present what I wanted to share with you, and then to have last couple of minutes for all the questions, and maybe if we have time enough to do together something practical, where I would invite you to engage. Thanks a lot. I hope that everyone can see a presentation. Maybe
Yes.
you can go to the next slide that I will use to just shortly introduce myself. Yeah, you can go to next slide, if that's possible. Thank you. This year is very important for myself professionally, because this year I decided to start my freelance career. Because of the last 10 years, I've been present in various industries, predominantly as a human resource specialist, but at the same time providing mental health services within companies and outside. And I must say, I've learned a lot. My basic background is in sociology. I have bachelor and master's degree in sociology. And I just finished my second education of psychotherapy. So I'm a psychotherapist in supervision. Because I'm still using support of my supervisors. And interestingly enough, my main supervisor is a psychotherapist and supervisor from India, from Bangalore. I chose him to work with him. I worked in various industries. I was a teaching associate at the higher business school, so I worked at the university teaching there. I worked in a hotel industry, music industry, automotive industry, gaming industry. And basically, even though I worked as an HR supporting business, I learned that relationships are very much important. And since one of the main scopes of my work was to speak with employees one-on-one, to provide various kind of formats for their personal development. I also worked with leaders, coaching them to support their people, how they can support their people better. So that's how I chose today's topic, but I don't see presentation anymore. It would be good if you can put it back, share it again, and go to the third slide. Yeah, thank you very much. Yeah, third slide. You can go to third slide. Next slide. Yeah. So today I chose to speak about responding to relational needs in business environment, because as a psychotherapist and as someone who dealt with so many people and observed what are the main problems, why they're satisfied or why they're not satisfied at work, and how to support their managers to keep, especially good people, how to keep them within their companies. I decided to share with you about relational needs, and this is something that we all have in common. Relational needs are a concept of world-famous psychotherapist, Dr. Richard Erskine, and I had that pleasure and honor to learn from Dr. Erskine live. And he developed the concept about 8 relational needs. And he said that relational needs are the basic emotional needs that we all have and desire to fulfill in all our relationships. We all desire to feel safe, to feel seen, appreciated, valued, and connected. So these needs are shaping how we bond among each other, how we communicate, how we collaborate. And when these needs are met, we feel grounded, we feel engaged. And unfortunately, when they're not, all our relationships, whether at home or at work, they start to break down. So let's see what they are. And on the next slide, we can, we just need this slide to be a little bit bigger. I hope that's possible. Can we make this slide to be visible? So the question is, why do we speak? Why do we speak about relational needs at work? Some people feel that we should differentiate how we feel privately at home with our people, with us, with our spouse, with our children, with our family, and that it's not important how we do feel at work. But actually, contemporary research says something different. They all say it's really important how we relate at work. So as you know, I guess all of you are working people. Every workplace is not just the place where we are getting our tasks done, but it's also about how we bond. We all feel that we want to be seen, safe, valued, not just because of our performance and how we do something, but we also want to be seen for who we are. And some research say that unmet relational needs at work create lots of misunderstanding. People are withdrawing, they experience burnout, and that all affects the business because connection is our basic wiring. We can go to the next slide. Here you'll see I listed 8 per Richard Ersky. There are 8 relational needs, and I'll explain each of them. That's the need for security, the need for validation of our personal experience, the need for acceptance by a stable and reliable person, the need for mutual connection and shared experience, the need for self-definition and our personal autonomy, the need to have an impact on the other person, the need for other person to initiate something related to us, and the need to express love and gratitude and care. So let's see a little bit more detail of what each of these relational needs is about. So let's start on the next slide with the need for security. So we need to feel safe emotionally and psychologically. And maybe you probably heard about psychological safety. Lots of people are writing about this important topic recently. So what is this all about? Imagine when you're working in the organization, you want to feel that it's really safe to express yourself, your ideas, and not to deal with criticism, not to feel rejected or humiliated or punishment. So when we are thinking, especially if we are people who are leading, inspiring others, you don't need to have your own team of people, but you can be a non-formal leader and you can still influence people. Then you can try with your own influence to create psychological safety. And you do that by encouraging openness. You're there to listen and not blame people. And then with your own stature, with the way how you behave, you can model that calm and consistency in your leadership. And it's always funny for me when I see in the organization, for instance, especially in this tech organization, who brand themselves as innovative organization. We are all about technology and innovation. And then in the way how they treat their people, you see such a hardcore traditional approach. You know, like they're not so open about new things. Like this is the way how we are doing things for so many years. And then for me, it's always funny because I'm always wondering how you can connect innovation and this traditionalism, I would call it like that. So they just don't go together. We can go to the next slide to our second need. The second need is our need for validation of personal experience. So this is the need where we feel that our experiences, our emotions, and everything how we contribute, someone is recognizing that. And they're taking that seriously, not taking us for granted. So if we want to respond to this kind of relational need of our people, we need to acknowledge people's perspective. So this would mean that even when you disagree with someone's attitude, you should listen to them. And you can say something like, oh, I see your view and I respect your perspective. This is not how I think. Let's discuss this. So be open for a dialogue. You can reflect understanding. And when I say reflect, that means like when someone is communicating something, you can just repeat and say, oh, from what you shared, I heard that you think this and that, and I appreciate your view. This is how I see it. So it's like a constructive way of having a dialogue. So this way you can recognize both their efforts and results. And even sometimes if results are not shown, you should appreciate the person, because if you're appreciating someone only when they're bringing results, with time they will stop delivering and delivering with results as well. That's why this is very important. Now we can go to our third need. This is the need for acceptance and stable and reliable order. And here I would love to invite you to just think about at least one person in your life. Maybe you met this person when you were younger. Maybe you met this person later in your career. But I'm sure that you had at least one person. It can be some wiser relative. It can be a school teacher. It can be a spiritual teacher. It can be someone, some mentor, someone who was wise enough, who motivated you. He inspired you, and you felt accepted by this person. So it's some kind of healthy authority. When you know someone who is knowledgeable or they have integrity, they have a set of values that you really admire. Try to remember how you felt when you were accepted and appreciated by a person like this. For young children, they're idolizing their parents if they were lucky enough to have parents. Not all of us had these happy circumstances, but even later in life, we still have this need. And when we come to some mature stage, then we are becoming mentors like this. So the way how you can respond to this need is to build reliability into your relationships. You can become a person that people can rely on. So follow through on what you promise, be emotionally consistent, and you show some steadiness in communication and leadership. So people really feel that they can rely on you. It would mean a lot to them. Now we'll go to our fourth relational need. The need for mutual connection and shared experience. Well, after all, even Aristotle said we are all social beings, like social animals. We belong to tribes. A long time ago, thousands of years ago, you couldn't survive if you are not a part of a tribe. So if your tribe decide to just excommunicate you, like to say go away, you wouldn't survive. And that's why it's really important for us, even today, when we can survive for sure by ourselves, there is still part of our brain that's, like letting us know that we are in danger when we are not accepted by our community. So we have this need to feel genuinely connected, and attuned with people that we are surrounded, like to have good relations in our surrounding. And if you're someone who is in charge of creating a good organizational climate at your organization, you can invest in human connection. You can ask people how they are, be curious about something in their life. You can build shared moments, create some creative, reflective meetings, do something new, organize collaborative sessions. Like you have community here, actually, where you can acknowledge knowledge of each other and really express that appreciation. It's important to create a space, especially today, if you're working the whole day, you're spending more hours with our colleagues than we are spending with our family. It's really important with what we will end our business day and come home, in which energy we will greet our family when we come home. So you can create something like this. And let's continue with the next need. I think it's fifth on the next slide. And now we are going, I like to think about these things, like we started from feeling stable and grounded, and I'm imagining like energy centers, like you have like these 7 chakras, and you're coming like from your root. First, you need to feel stable. you need to feel appreciated, you need to have meaningful connections. Like we are going higher and higher, and then there is come this need for self-realization, for autonomy, your personal autonomy. So it's not just that you want to feel connected to your team, to your organization. You also want to be connected to yourself and to be appreciated the way you are, for your own integrity, your own self-definition. So each one of us have this desire to express our values, our ideas, our own individuality. Like the most important thing in life is to understand who we are. We all came with our unique talent. We all came with some blessings to bring something to our community. And it's a blessing to be able to express that and be appreciated for that gift. So you need to create a climate in your organization where you will have that freedom to think, to decide, and to act in ways that reflect your authentic self. And that's why I noticed in my private psychotherapy practice, I work with many people, so much successful. They work for me like more than 20, 30 years, and they're so successful and knowledgeable. And now, if they made a mistake in their career, when they accepted for, like, let's say, double salary, they couldn't resist to accept some business offer, and they ended up in a company which do not align with their values. They all regretted so much because they're not young anymore. So they realize they don't have this desire anymore. Just having money is not enough to keep you happy. So yeah, that's the theme that comes so often in my practice. And the way how you can respond to need like this in your business environment is in your teams, you can encourage autonomy, encourage ownership. So if you want to be a good leader, that means that you will minimize your micromanaging and you will invite people to think with their own mind. So they can express their individuality, their creativity and engagement. That will grow, and then results will grow as a result of this kind of approach. We can go to the next slide. So it's our need to have an impact on the other person. So I always think about this, like when we were kids, just remember what you love to do. Like, for instance, to swim, like for the first time, like you learn to swim and you are enjoying in water. And then you can just, say, Mom, look at me. It was so important that someone sees us and what we are doing, it can impact the significant other. And today, when we are adults, we just want to see that what we are doing or what we are saying, it can make some kind of difference. So it's not the same like we were kids, but still this need is very important to us. And I noticed that there is really a significant difference when you have leaders who are showing this to their people. So the way how they do that is like they're showing their colleagues that they really appreciate what they're bringing. They're using every opportunity, not just this yearly performance review time, but regularly to give them feedback. And it's not just feedback when they did something where you have some particular results, something, but like this so-called process feedback. Like, oh, I see how you're trying, even though we are currently facing a huge crisis. I really appreciate your effort. We really need to see that what we are doing, it's visible to people. Even though we are adults, maybe 50, 60 years old, doesn't really matter. We are social beings. We want to see that what we are doing really impacts the people. Okay, we can continue. The need for initiative from the other. Out of the business, I see this. I work with this mostly when I'm working with couples, like in marriage therapy, couples therapy. It would like complaining would sound something like this, like, oh, I really enjoy every time we spend time together when we go out, but I would love that at least for once he is the one that he initiated we go somewhere. Like, he would always say yes, but I'm starting to feel that he's doing that only because I'm complaining and not because he really desired that. So that's where I learned how this is so important. And in business context, I see this when I'm speaking with people who are not leaders. They say like, well, my manager is available, but sometimes I feel that I don't want to complain. I would just love if he or she notices and just come to check me, like to say, oh, I'm curious, how are you doing? Like, not to give any particular feedback, but just to say, I just want to check in on you. Like, how are you doing? Do you need something? I'm there. That's so important. So we need to actively engage, not just to respond to someone's need. So not to wait for that. So they don't feel that relationship is one-sided. And I feel that in business environment, this is even more important because this power balance is not equal, for instance, like in private relationships. So if you have a boss, then you don't feel so free to express this need. So I would say that for a relationship between a leader and their employees, the greater responsibility is on the person who has more power. That's why we need to initiate. And now we can continue. I think it's our last need. And that's the need to express love, gratitude, and care. And you will notice that I said the need to express love, gratitude, and care, and not the need to receive love, gratitude, and care. So why is this? If you followed all the needs that we learned so far, you will easily conclude that when you have all that, you really feel appreciated and loved, don't you? So you want to have this freedom to work in the environment where it's free to express your gratitude, even love for some people with whom you build meaningful connections. So as a leader, you can normalize expressing gratitude, you can celebrate even smaller milestones, contributions. In some company, they even celebrate failures because only people who are fine with even fail, they can learn something and innovate and become better. So what matters is that we dare to try. Recognition fuels trust and commitment. So you can even encourage some people who are more like influencers to start this kind of organizational climate and give them positive feedback when they're praising some of their colleagues. That's one of the ways how you can do this. And now I think we finished with these needs, and I would just love on the next slide to show you what I noticed so far. What are the main reasons? So I believe that you can see how these are important, but these are usually the reasons why managers really don't like to do these things. And I heard this kind of reasons so many times. They don't see this as a part of their job. So they think like only delegating, giving tasks, performance, that's only what they should do. The other reason, which I find very important, is they were never trained in relational skills. So some people are almost like natural leaders, they're better with this. I don't like calling them soft skills. I prefer saying power skills. They're like more emotionally and socially intelligent, but most of the people that end up being leaders, they're not trained in relational skills. So companies that really want to thrive need to invest in this kind of skills. Also, they have time for these things. I would say that this is illusion, because you really need to invest in those things, and you can learn how to do these things, that this become like a natural way of your communication. And that way, that's not going to be like, okay, let's stop what we are doing and now let's do some appreciation. No, you're doing work, and in the meantime, you see colleague, you can do like a handshake or whatever, pat them on the back and say, oh, well done, I really appreciate what you did. You can do it like that. They assume people should be self-sufficient. I noticed this with leaders who have this so-called be strong driver. They feel that they are appreciated only when they're not expressing their emotions, and usually they choose people who are same like them. Also, they underestimate the impact of relational dynamics. So they don't have the knowledge of why is this important. They don't know all these things that we were speaking today. And the last but not least, organizational systems do not reward relational leadership. So unfortunately, I also I had the opportunity to work within some cultures where only revenue was valued. Like when you have a line at the end of the year, we just want to see what we earned. They don't care about how many people they lost in the process, but I think they should learn, because let's go to the last slide. I'll show you why, and we will finish with the presentation with this. So this is the reason why they should care and why they should invest in relational leadership. When you are responding to employees' relational needs, you have higher employee engagement and motivation, because as a result of feeling appreciated, people feel they want to give back more to the company. Stronger collaboration and smoother teamwork. People feel good coming to work and spending time there. As a result, you have greater innovation, more creative problem solving, because people are not afraid to look for creative solutions. And now, speaking of money and investment, you have reduced turnover and higher retention. So you can especially key people, people who are really, really talented. They will choose to stay with you and give more. You have more effective, trusted, and stable leadership who is just continuing nurturing this kind of culture. People are faster adapting to change, so the organization is more resilient. And of course, you have like fewer conflicts, good communication, and overall higher performance and productivity. So as you can see, it's actually something that's worth of investing in. And now, for the end, I would like to invite you, maybe we can go to the last slide. I would like to invite you to just think, if you can think about this, which relational need would you say that is most important for you at work? Maybe we can go to the slide where we have listed at the beginning. I think you can go to the beginning. I know what are the questions, but there is a slide where we have listed at the beginning all the needs. I think after this one. After this one, sorry. Here, yeah. So if you look at these needs, what would you say, what need is currently most important for you at work? You can say aloud, you can write in a chat. I'm curious to hear from you. Is it important for you that your need for security is satisfied? Is it the need to feel validated? Is it the need to have like to be accepted by stable and reliable other, maybe by a leader or your CEO or someone? Is it the need to have like mutual connection with your teammates? Is it your need to see that you have an impact on your boss or on your colleagues? Is it the need that someone, your boss or your colleagues, are initiating a connection with you, or the need to express love and gratitude? So you can choose one that you could say that currently is most important to you. I'm really curious to hear. Hello. I'm sorry, I didn't hear. Thank you. Personal autonomy. Love and gratitude. Fourth, now I can see what's fourth on the list. Thank you. Thank you. I really appreciate you sharing. And what would you say, which relational need you feel is most consistently met in your business environment? So which needs you see that your leaders are responding to at your workplace? Thank you, Soria. Appreciate your feedback. So which need is easily for you to it's easy for you to recognize that it's satisfied at your working environment?
In the feedback link, they are allowed to give the remark in that. So we are waiting for their feedback. But still, if someone want to temporarily write some message as a reply, you can.
I hope that some of these needs are recognized at your workplace, and I would be really disappointed if they are not, because I truly I really wish you from the bottom of my heart that you can recognize your needs and that you feel that at least some of them are satisfied at your working environment. And if not, I invite you for you to be the change maker. And I invite you to practice how to respond, how to recognize the needs of your colleagues and your teammates, and to be a leader in your own working environment and to learn how to respond to these needs. And you can model something that they don't know enough about, or they don't know how to recognize, express it. Thank you very much for your feedback. I'm here if you have any questions. Also, I'm fine with my presentation to be shared with anyone who is interested to learn about this. We can connect on LinkedIn as well. I'm also working one-on-one. So if anyone needs coaching or psychotherapy, I'm also available for that. And once again, I would really love to express my sincere gratitude to be a part of this amazing format where you meet and learn in unity. I wish you all the best with everything that you set up as your vision. I wish you much success. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Sanjay ma'am. First of all, we are very happy about your topic because it's very useful for any organization, for leaders, and also you have worked for the families also. So for a happiness and to have a investment of our organization and the output, good output, these tips are very much useful. And those who are here on organizational level, they can adopt these tips. You have shared also the examples, and also you have given that the meetings of the companies, organizations, uh, so that all the participants or the team members can enjoy and they have good interaction. The various 8 points you have raised here, they are useful, and we think about that which behave we can do for our colleagues being a team leader, so that we will be successful, happy, and give more best output as outcome for our organization. We wish all the best for your future plans, trainings, which you are doing. It's a very great. And you have visited India in Mahakumbh Mela. It's a very spiritual and respect thing for us that you are a visitor of India in that great event, and you are blessed by the environment. In future also, you can visit India, and we will try to have visit so that our organization will be more be benefited by your physical visit. We are very much thankful.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I would really love to, and I'm planning to visit India again when it's convenient. Feeling very much connected to India. India is in my heart, so looking forward to that opportunity. Thank you very much, and let's stay in touch. Let's continue learning together and working together to our purpose. Thanks a lot. Yeah. Yeah, you have my permission to share a PDF with participants if they're interested.
Yes,
Thanks
yes,
a lot.
yes. I will share YouTube link also and PDF also to all the participants. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Goodbye. Goodbye, everyone.